Hi, Gould Hospital. As it happens, I've just come out of hospital. I'm in the middle of a chemo cycle, so I understand very well, not alone what you're going through, but the audacity of closing you down seems preposterous to me, when we need as many good people, good hospitals, good health care that we can lay our hands on. Because the most important thing in life is our health, and the people around us who make it possible to enjoy the time on life that we've been given. So to you guys, I'm absolutely wishing you the very best. Tony, who's asked me to do this, has been a lifesaver to me in lots of different ways, because music is the best healer of all time. And I know he's had some great people send testimonies to you. Mike Rutherford, who I played with recently, from Genesis, and Mike and the Mechanics. So I'm sending you a lot of success and a lot of goodwill, and I'm just, fingers crossed, I'm just hoping they can revert what they've perhaps done. I won't say silly because I don't know the circumstances, but nevertheless, we need as much healthcare in this world as we can get, and everything else comes secondary. So God bless you all there. Well done on the support, and speak soon.
Bono became a great friend because he was heavily into Formula One, as indeed most of the bands. And there's a lovely little story that they were rehearsing in Monaco for a fairly recent tour. By I'd say recent tour, I'd say 20 years ago. Is that recent? Yeah, that's recent.
Yeah, pretty recent.
By my standards, that's recent. So it was my wife's birthday, and I'd asked a couple of Irish people to come and join us because they were in town. The Prince Albert, puts on a St. Patrick's Day party, and so there was Brian O'Driscoll, famous rugby player, and Paul McGinley, famous Irish golfer, and they were all there with my wife, and the door slides open ever so slightly, and this hand comes in with a present, and I was absolutely smashed in my head as to why that person would do this, and it was the Prince, closely followed by Bono, Larry and The Edge. And so we had a very strong Irish night. Bono then, for my 60th, 65th and 70th birthdays, he gave me, each year he gave me a painting. So they have pride of place in my place in Monaco. So Bono is quite an artist, not just through recording and through music and this microphone, what we're doing here, but he's a very talented man.
It is with profound sadness that I bring you the news that Eddie Jordan has passed away at the age of 76. The former Formula One team owner revealed late last year that he was battling an aggressive form of prostate cancer, and his family has confirmed that EJ passed away in the early hours of this morning, the 20th of March 2025, at his home in Cape Town, South Africa. I'm not going to go into too much detail about Jordan's career in Formula One, because I already did that when this got announced. But for those that don't know who EJ was, he was a former team owner. You might recognise the name Jordan from Jordan Grand Prix, who were in Formula One between 1991 and 2005, a true privateer entry that really shook up the order in that era of Formula One. He gave the debut to Michael Schumacher in Formula One in 1991, his one and only appearance for Jordan coming at the 1991 Belgian Grand Prix. He also gave starts to the likes of Rubens Barrichello, Ralph Schumacher, John Lacey, and Martin Brundle also came up through his junior Formula 3 team as well, and then later went on to race in Formula 1 for him as well. Eddie Irvine as well, Nick Heidfeld, Takuma Sato, some fantastic, Heinz-Harald Frentzen as well, Jarno Trulli, some fantastic drivers, and Fisichella too. Some brilliant drivers that came through his team in Formula One. And I said they were a privateer entry. They were not a backmarker entry at all, by any stretch of the imagination. They came into Formula One with a bang. They achieved a high of third in the Constructors' Championship in 1999, only behind McLaren and Ferrari. They got 4 race victories. Ralph Schumacher that is, and Damon Hill doing a 1-2. At the Belgian Grand Prix in 1998, their first win, and also a very dramatic win for Giancarlo Fisichella in Brazil 2003 as well, one of the all-time greats. EJ was an absolute maverick and a joy to listen to. And I do apologise if my tone is a bit off, because I knew he was unwell. But just to see this happen, it's hit me quite hard, to be honest, because EJ was someone who I loved listening to. I really, really did enjoy listening to him on the BBC coverage of Formula One here in the UK. He was absolutely fantastic. He was someone who could always find a scoop. He's the one who broke the news of Hamilton going to Mercedes. Nobody believed him, but he was right. And, you know, he was just, like I said, he was just a fantastic person to listen to. Man as a box of frogs. I don't think he'll mind me saying that. God bless you, Eddie, by the way. You know, there was never a dull moment with EJ. Never a dull moment whatsoever. He was always entertaining to listen to. Like I said, vast experience in Formula One. 15 years his team was there as a privateer entry. And the bones of that have now become Aston Martin eventually as well, based at the Silverstone base for the Formula One teams. And yeah, it's really sad news. It shouldn't come as too much of a surprise, to be honest, because I don't know EJ, I won't claim to, but knowing what I imagine he's like, I imagine he didn't want to reveal that he had cancer until he knew that it was going to be probably the end. You know, I would imagine EJ is the kind of person to not want to talk about that to other people much, because he would feel that wouldn't really help. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe my assumption is wrong there, but I imagine that he kept it under wraps for quite some time. But, you know,